Yeah, it's super interesting. I think we've been talking as an industry about the convergence of digital and TV for a while. What's interesting about CTV specifically is if you look at the mechanism by which users get their content, it's about as close to digital and online video as you can get. Your TV today is basically a computer screen. It operates the way computer screens do, which is you get to click through content. Advertisers can deliver content sort of to individual users instead of at reach. And then buying mechanisms, we found over the last 5 years are almost identical to buying mechanisms for online video. So the same platforms that you would go out and buy, online video or display on, you also use to buy CTV on. And so when we were, speaking to our marketers, what we were starting to see was the same set of problems that they wanted solved in their programmatic digital display and video campaigns were also the problems they wanted solved on their CTV campaigns, right? How do I do planning across screens? How do I identify my audience and reach them no matter where they're going? How do I measure to metrics and business outcomes that matter, not just completion rates or sort of reach and frequency? And so that's where MiQ really started in the CTV space. We built a really large TV offering since then. We're live with boots on the ground in 4 countries across the globe, scale across 80 plus markets. And our kind of special sauce is we approach TV from a programmatic lens. As CTV becomes more and more biddable, we're seeing capabilities like retargeting or sequential messaging to users, measurement at an individual level across the walled gardens, and the kind of open web become more and more a thing that advertisers demand. And so MiQ's place there is really as an agnostic media partner. Our focus is, no matter where your customers are, whether they're in walled gardens like YouTube or Roku or Amazon or more of the open web, we will help you identify those customers, reach those customers, measure everything cohesively in one media campaign.
And could you tell us more about some of your partners? I understand you collaborate with Samba TV and some of your features with TV intelligence, hub reporting, ability to activate on YouTube.
Yeah, so we've got, first of all, we approach partnerships in a sort of demand-driven way, which is we work with our advertisers to figure out, what their needs are, where it relates to TV. I think on TV, we've identified partnerships in 2 focus areas. One is where it relates to data and sort of TV as a signal, we call it, right? What is the sort of data that's coming off the TV screen? And the other is, TV as a supply source or TV as a screen. And so I can talk about both those pieces. On the data side, we've chosen to work with companies that give us access to smart TV and set-top box data. Samba is a great example of a partner like that, a global partner that does have footprints in multiple markets. And that allows us to see everything that happens on a TV screen, whether someone is watching linear programming or watching OTT, gaming, YouTube, kind of everything. MiQ consumes that content, uses that to create planning, buying, measurement capabilities for marketers. So a good example of a planning capability is we've got our TV intelligence platform, which ingests all of this sort of set-top box and ACR data. A marketer can go in and place a pixel on their site or give us this first-party file, overlay that against our data, and plan TV, OTT, YouTube side by side in one ecosystem. And what's interesting is especially that YouTube piece has been something that's such a big gap in the space. I think, when providers talk about sort of currency and alternative currencies, they're often talking about sort of CTV and linear TV and missing out on some of the walled gardens. And so where marketers really lean on an MiQ is, we see what happens inside of the kind of more closed spaces. We can work with them to activate on those as well as more of the open web components.
And what's interesting to me is that MiQ has a global reach and at a large scale. So I was kind of curious, how that differentiates you and how you apply learnings from one market into others.
Yeah, TV is so localized. Every region is so different. And what's interesting is we've learned over time that you've got to respect the differences that the different markets have while trying to find ways to bring learnings from one market to another. So today I mentioned we're live boots on the ground in 4 markets with TV solutions. Those are North America, so US and Canada, Australia, and then Europe leading out of the UK. And we're looking to get live in 2 other markets later this year. And so, when you're trying to get live in those markets, really, you've got to identify who the major partners are in each market. There's some players on the programmatic side, which are kind of multi-market international players. So on the DSP side, we partner with a Trade Desk as an example, or a Yahoo. And those guys are available in multiple markets. Google obviously has an impressive reach, but then you've also got to do the hard work of speaking to publishers in each market. So in Canada, working with some of the broadcasters, in the UK, working with some of the broadcast organizations, Australia, the BVOD players. And so it becomes an exercise of, sort of business development in each market. And at the end of the day, marketers are relying on us to abstract away the complexity and sort of build international campaigns. So, when a brand comes to us and wants to run across, 6 different markets, it's on MiQ to figure out the complexities of those markets as a media partner for them.
And in the past few years, we've seen a massive shift in viewing habits, the explosion in streaming. Looking ahead, where do you see MiQ going in the future? I understand that you have certain tools that you're building, and I don't know if you can announce right now any new partnerships you have, but if you could at least tell us a little bit more about what you expect to see in the next few months or the year.
Yeah, so I think the future is really interesting in TV and video, and I bundle those together purposefully. When we look towards the future, we really see a total video future, not a TV future or online video or a CTV future. And so in a world where a marketer has a video investment to reach and, a KPI across their funnel, how do you, work across different partners, across different walled gardens, the open web, to achieve some of those business metrics that advertisers care about? And so when we look to the future, we're developing capabilities that allow us to port audiences across different ecosystems, whether that's digital video or CTV or, YouTube or social video, building planning capabilities and measurement capabilities like our TV intelligence tool, and allowing marketers to sort of see that end-to-end capability in one step. I think if I could just call out one area that I think has seen a lot of interest in the industry, but I think TV is maybe a little behind on, are, components like clean rooms. We're seeing a ton of adoption in different clean rooms across the sell side. I think the demand side is still working its way through that. And so MiQ, as a media services partner for brands and agencies, we're helping identify opportunities to do sort of more unique things across TV and video within clean rooms, both in the walled garden space as well as more of the open web clean rooms.